This is Take 5 with Bentley, Nevada. In the studio with me again today is Tim Sykes, partner sales manager for Augury. And Tim, you were sharing this idea of being able to guarantee the results, and I think that is probably completely unique in the industry. I don't know anybody, whatever the program is, whether it's online, continuous sensing, or walk-around based portable programs, I don't know anybody that is basically putting their reputation and everything on the line by actually guaranteeing the results. So I take it that you haven't encountered anybody else in the industry doing anything like that.
Not in our space, no.
I do know that if you turn the clock back, you mentioned Hartford Steam Boiler was the insurer that's part of this guaranteed solution. And they actually played a role in helping Bentley, Nevada achieve critical mass in terms of, it's almost unthinkable today that if you have critical turbo machinery that you're not protecting it. And Hartford Steam Boiler played a pretty big role in that by helping customers lower their insurance premiums if they demonstrated that they had continuous protection on some of those turbo machines. So, fast forward to the present day, and now what they're saying is, if you put condition monitoring on these assets that maybe people would consider less consequential, there's still the ability to say we're so confident in this solution that it's being guaranteed. So that's kind of come full circle. Tim, I'd like to talk a little bit now about this idea of the kind of results that customers are getting. And we've talked about scalability. A lot of times people don't go big immediately. They'll start out, particularly with digital transformation, they'll want to kind of pilot things. And in the break, you and I were talking a little bit about Pepsi. Talk to us about what they were able to achieve initially and what helped them kind of expand this thing at scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Pepsi is a really fun story for us, and it's not dissimilar to many of the other manufacturers in a variety of industries that we work with. Like you said, most of our customers start with a pilot. We like to call it a proof of value. They typically will install in anywhere from 50 to 200 machines across one or a handful of sites. And the idea is not so much necessarily to test out the technology's capability, although that can be one aspect of it. But from our experience of doing this over the last 11 years, we know the technology works. It's really to prove out how valuable can it be in your particular operating environment. So we choose together success criteria. Many times this early success criteria is around the reduction in unplanned downtime. It's a reduction in maintenance savings. It's a reduction in break-in work, emergency work orders, and things like that. Pepsi was, like I said, very similar case as most of the others, and in their case, in the first year of their deployment across their first 4 sites, they experienced 0 unexpected breakdowns after they installed Augury, and they experienced 0 production interruptions after installing our machine health solution. At scale, that resulted in over 1 million pounds of food waste being avoided, and led to them making a decision to ultimately go to scale with us across their North American operations within Frito-Lay.
So really, that first year was almost a proof of concept. They did enough machines to where it was a large enough sample size to get reasonable results, but once they had that first year under their belt, it sounds like it was a relatively easy sell, if you will, to convince the C-suite that we need to be doing this everywhere.
Well, I'm a salesperson, so I will heartily disagree that there's ever an easy sell. But it certainly greases the skids when you can show real tangible results that have a financial impact on the company's bottom and top lines. And so, and in many cases, Pepsi included, we don't wait a year to begin having those conversations, and a lot of customers don't even wait a year to make a decision to go to scale. right? Many of the customers that we work with experience a payback on their initial investment within the first 3 to 4 months after they've issued their order with us, and they experience ROIs somewhere between 4 to 10% in many cases. We had a chemical customer recently. Within 2 months, we had a couple pretty large cost avoidances with them. They're at 25x ROI in just a couple of months. So really impressive savings there. But it makes the conversation that much easier as they go to talk to their C-level stakeholders and decision makers about rolling us out across the enterprise for sure.
Yes. Well, you end up with people that are internal champions that saying, this is working so good, I want to do this in other places. Tim, let's, I'm always faced with this dilemma of wanting to ask more questions, but realizing that we're up against kind of the guardrails here in terms of how quickly 5 minutes goes by. So let's just push the pause button for a moment, and we'll come back in the next episode, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about these industries that traditionally aren't so associated with, large critical turbo machinery, and why this machine health solution is of such great interest to them. So with that, you've been listening to Take 5 with Bentley, Nevada, the Baker Hughes business. We'll see you next time.